Check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2. So you can't hear me. All right. Let me see. Let me check my audio. Welcome to this month's live stream. I'm actually waiting on an individual that said that I guess they tentatively agreed to coming here. Let me see if I can catch their name again. Let me look. Matter of fact, let me share my screen with you. Yeah, right, right here it is. Zack Attack. Look at this interaction here. I don't normally engage in this type of interaction in comments field because I find it to be not a very efficient mode of communication. But I did just because of the way they approached it. They did start off sort of a little bit brash, kind of being a little bit sarcastic, but it wasn't overly rude or anything like that. So I continued on. And then as it went on, they became less rude and more communicative. And but they did make it clear that they weren't here to talk about or learn grammar or teach grammar. They even said that. So I guess maybe they're a grammar teacher. I don't know, like me. But in any case, they're not here for the grammar, which is a good discussion to have because why are you here then? This is a grammar channel. If you do your, like me, when I walk into some place or I look at a channel, I look at, going on someone's channel like I'm walking into their home, their house, their domain. I'm respectful. I find out what they're all about if I'm interested in what they're doing, if I have something to say, if I have a viewpoint on it. I learn the terms and conditions of the place I'm walking into, I'm navigating through. And I mean, that goes into common law, you common law folks out there. You know all about that because the law that's common here may not be the same law that's common over here. So that's what I do. But these folks don't do that. They think that they can just go wherever they want to and say whatever they want to. But I'm used to that, I'm used to that. Dealing with that type of individual, especially when it comes to the Russell J. Gould cult followers and supporters and things like that. They're usually, without fail, very rude, very brash, very assumptive. Everybody's got to stop and correct. But hopefully that individual will show up here. Welcome in April, Teddy, anybody else who's here. So if they don't show up, I'm probably not going to be on here very long. Unless you folks out there that are watching have grammar questions, which I'm more than happy to address. I haven't done one of these in a while, but this is my latest document. Contract postal vessel court venue. that I started, and I'll show you the party. There you go. Credit collection services. And of course, the very first claim that's on here is for the claimant's sensation of the cognition is with the correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, claims of the facts with the knowledge by the claimant. They say, I'm making these claims using mathematically certified grammar technology known as correct sentence structure. The source of these claims originate from my cognition of my five senses. In red, you see I translate the correct sentence structure into fiction-babble, into plain, simple English, which is something I don't feel anyone else out there does, because it literally adds to the geometric level playing field of communication. Because if you're going to communicate with these entities, these whoever they are, 9 times out of 10, they are not going to understand correct sentence structure. So is that your volition to have them not understand what you're saying? Well, for me, it's the direct opposite. So that's why I translate into plain simple English so that there's no misunderstanding. There's no mistaking what my volition is. Ted asks, does red mean it's not on the page? That's not the value I put in it. The reason, everything I do is for the ease of the communication. All right, there are other folks out there that like to say, you know, that blue means maritime, black means dead, red means life, something, you know. None of it, to me, it's all bullshit to me. To me, it's about the ease of the communication, and it's just much easier to see. It separates it, the plain, simple English from the correct sentence structure. Plus, it's in italics and brackets, so that in itself means it's a different contract. It's on a different plane. It's not there. It's not on the page. But you can certainly see it. It's just a graceful gesture on my part so that folks know what it is I'm saying. So then the next claim is for the claimant's knowledge of the facts is with the claim of the oite, with the correct sentence structure of the geometric and level, with the plane and field of the contract, with the maintenance of the rule one, rule equal, with the balance of the honor and the grace, with the position of the peace and neutrality, with the volition by the claimant and author. And then the next one would be for the claimant's knowledge of the volition is with the function claim of the bracket mechanic, with the ease of the communication, with the common language of the people, with the rule one, rule equal performance by the claimants. I'm explaining why I use the brackets. And then the next one is for the claim of the void, correct sentence structure contract is with the capital case letter of the term and name Jason-Glass, i.e. all caps Jason Glass on their letter, which is adjective pronoun, with the salvage into of the conditional scenario, i.e. necessity, with the publish of the live life claim, and I give my live life claim number with the creation and authorization by the claimant. And then I say for the claim of the win-win is with the cease of the credit collection services contact, with the joint cognition of the void contract with the credit collection service, and with the Jason Knife and Matthew Glass, with the continuum position by the claimant, as I, Jason Matthew Glass, have no contract with credit collection service. Please cease trespassing upon my mailbox with your letters demanding $51.92. But they don't, well, if I had the other part of it here, they don't even put a dollar sign next to the $51.92, which is goofy. So I don't even know if that's a dollar amount, if it's a pound amount, if it's sterling ounces of silver, if it's troy ounces of gold. I don't know what that is. It's pretty funny. And then I say, for the choice claim of the quo warranto, correct sentence structure contract, or of the vacate is with the performance of the credit collection service, with the choice tender of the rule one and rule equal, with the maintenance by the claimant. So I'm giving them a choice. I say, to be fair, I offer you the choices of 1, provide your own quo warranto document with correct grammar, proving your authority to trespass upon my construct, Or 2, provide the grammatically correct contract between you and I with my correct name, autograph, my punctuated name, live claim autograph. Or vacate and cease contacting me. So that's basically the bottom line. That's like a basic, literally bare bones template. Now I'm probably going to add another page to this and flesh it out a little bit more, maybe, if I care enough about it. At this point with that, I'm just basically doing it as an exercise because I'm not really threatened by the credit collections service. But I'm certainly not going to send them $51.92. Sometimes what I like to do, though, is I'll put like a dollar bill in the envelope, and I'll put in there, that I'm tendering this as an offer of humility. If this makes you feel better, we'll call it even. And every time I've done that, it's worked. Matter of fact, every time I've done a correct sentence structure document, contract, postal vessel, court, venue, it's worked. All right. I don't see anybody asking any questions, and I don't see Zack Attack in here. We've been on for 15 minutes. I'll see if I can stretch it another 15. Hopefully, you folks, as you have claimed in the past, have brought questions for me. Grammar questions. Is your country of a bill of exchange? Well, Teddy, I'm not up with the fiction system things that they do. Like, for example, when I see the words bill of exchange, I see a pronoun adverb, dangling participle verb. And I see exchange means no change. So we have EX, which is a particle negation, and then we have change, which we know change is modification, modification is perjury. So I don't like concern myself with those types of things. But to answer your question, I will actually Google it. I will help you out, my friend, and do your work for you and type in, does the USA have a bill of exchange? And let's see what Google says. Let me share my screen with you here so you can see it. Yes, the U.S. recognizes and uses bills of exchange, especially in international trade and business-to-business transactions, though they are less common domestically due to electronic payments. They function as written, unconditional orders for payment, similar to a check, but often involving banks and international parties, and are regulated by U.S. law like 12 U.S. Code, Section 361. Bill of exchange, legal definition, and insights. Must contain an unconditional order to pay a definite sum of money, must be dated and signed by the drawer. English is so fucked up. I read it drawer as in an artist, someone who's drawing something, a drawer, but it's not. It's a drawer. No, it is a drawer, but I'm thinking of a drawer. Like the old Robert Johnson song where he's talking about his old lady, how people go through her like they go through dresser drawers or something like that. That English, who can fathom? Must be payable on demand at a specified future time. Can specify the pay and draw your locations, especially in international contexts. Well, that's just a bill of the lading. That's just putting terms and conditions on a bill of lading. Why would no one would ever use the word exchange in correct sentence structure. At least anyone that knows the grammar would never use such a word. It's a no contract word. Why wouldn't you just say bill of the lade, L-A-D-E? Or transshipment, something like that. Thanks for the question, Teddy. Most times, I don't know if maybe Google doesn't work in your country the way it does here, but you can pretty much find an answer to anything if you pop it in there. You're welcome, Teddy. Say about that. I have a dictionary of shipping terms somewhere. I was going to pull it out, but haven't used it in so long. So it's not a bad idea, you know, if you want to do this stuff for yourself, to educate your own self. Get yourself a shipping terminology dictionary. Get yourself a maritime terminology dictionary, economic dictionary, medical dictionary, all the different dictionaries, just to get different ideas for the terms that you want to use in your correct sentence structure contracts. You can pick and choose from those sources and then authorize it yourself by creating your own finite mean. So it looks like Zack Attack is a no-show. Big surprise, right? Big surprise. I am going to do a video going through his comments, which all of his comments are available. Our whole interaction is available for you to see. Under the audit number 16 catastrophe post. Okay, for the last few minutes, let's paste little Zacky's hold on. Grammar. His quantum gobbledygook, his attempt at correct sentence structure into this here. Now, I have just literally copy and pasted his sentence. And now I'm going to audit it. I'm going to show the mistakes and then maybe show how to correct it. I'm not sure he deserves that. But you viewers out there that really want to learn this, you do. So I will tell you how to correct it. So we have, so keep this in mind. Let me see if I can do this real quick. All right, let me see if I can get this nice and neat here. Yes, okay. When you graph it, this is what a correct sentence structure must look like. It starts with a cause, followed by a concern, then the verb. There are always only two position loadial fact phrases in front of the verb. For the, whatever the fact is, of the, whatever the fact is, and then the verb, whether it's is, which is plural, singular, or are, which is plural. Then the verb is always followed with a possessive, always, always, always with a possessive, with. And then if you are writing a short correct sentence structure, the shortest you can possibly do with a verb in it, which is a correct sentence structure communication, it would look like this. The possessive would be followed by the authority, because when you flip it around, it becomes for the facts, of the facts, are, with the facts, by the facts. The facts maintain the same value forwards as they do backwards. Now, if you have the standard correct sentence structure, which this would be considered that, the possessive after the verb has to be followed by a concern or consequence, which would be of. And then you must follow that with another possessive. And then after that, you would either follow it with the authority by the, or continue on with another of the, in which case you would have to follow the of the with the, and then end it with a by the, or continue on with an of the, so on and so forth. That's how it works, okay? This is the concatenation. All right, so let's see what they have. We have one position loadial fact phrase for the title 42. Now we have a colon here, which would mean by these rules that for the title 42 of the 1986, that's what that means right there in the highlighted area. For the title 42 of the 1986, same as for the facts of the facts. For the title 42 of the 1986. Now, you would either have to have a conjunction, a comma, or a verb here. Otherwise, you have voided the mathematical interface, and it is wrong. It is incorrect. It is no longer correct sentence structure. Well, they put another colon here. They put another position loadial phrase here. So now we're off in la-la land. This is no longer correct sentence structure. It started off as correct sentence structure, but now it's not, because it has violated this very simple rule that David-WYNN Miller and Russell J. Gould have repeated ad nauseum in videos over the last 2 decades or more. So we have, let's look at the other stuff here. I don't know what a glowy is. I don't know what this. I'd like to see what their dictionary looks like, because with correct sentence structure, light, show, matrix, web, compound fact. So you would have to have a meaning for that in your dictionary, a finite mean. Because if you're going to use a fact, you have to have closure on it, and you have to certify and prove that closure. That's what correct sentence structure is about. Closure. But then you would also have to have a finite mean for wizards. You would have to have a finite mean for light, for show, matrix, web, platform, and publication. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 word compound fact would have to have 8 separate finite means in the dictionary. That's how correct sentence structure works, folks, for those of you who want to learn it with correctness. But of course, if you just want to do lazy, casual shit and not get anywhere with it, that's fine. That's up to you. Finally, we get to a verb, which is not a verb at all. In this case, it's actually an adjective, followed by a pronoun, followed by adverb. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So you have neutral volition. So this person, they have a neutral volition, but they're using very colorful words like glowy patrol, in brackets, Wizards Light Show, Matrix, Web Platform, Publication. That doesn't sound like a very neutral perception of what they're looking at here, of this web platform, does it? Does that sound neutral? Anyways, fact findings. What facts have they found? There are no facts here. I've just shown that. Of course, the particle of negation, ing, s. What is this word? Fic. I guess they must be one of those No Child Left Behind folks, because they don't, or they're just too lazy to spell check. You know, they invested a lot of effort in NowSpace into writing out their comments. So I don't think they can use the excuse that this isn't important to them, because they invested a lot of energy into their exchange with me, their communication with me. So this is just, I think, laziness. Negation, ing. Look at that. Particle of negation. Correspondence is a no contract. So they're purposely saying that they are hiding, and they're using the ruse or guise of confidentiality, meaning I'm saying this stuff, but I don't want to take accountability or responsibility for saying it. But you, the person I'm asking these questions of, or the person that I'm addressing these comments to, you have to perform on and answer my questions. Otherwise, you're a fraud. But I don't have to credential myself. I can do what I want because I'm hiding. All right. Check it out. I would say for is a pronoun, the is an adverb, Title 42, verb. Ooh. I'll put that in a bracket, or I mean a parenthesis, because I don't want to confuse it with 42. You know what? I have an idea. That'll make this a lot easier in the long run. Trust me, folks. Since this is wrong, I'm just going to do this. And now I'm going to put the syntax values in black. There. Wow. Why won't it be in black? Unreal. Well, that didn't help at all, did it, folks? Talk about not being tech savvy. All right. Let's pick up here at 1986. That's a standalone pronoun because it's surrounded by two breaks in the continuance of the evidence. We will. Hey, this is interesting. This is a good learning experience right here that I will show you here. So I'm going to say that stop is a pronoun. Correct performance is a pronoun. The ampersand, of course, is and that is a conjunction, which is a bridge between these two pronouns. But now we have and or. So how are we going to do that? Are we going to say, because they are all actually functioning as conjunctions. So you could say that ampersand is a 0, the forward slash is a 0, and the or is a 0. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it could be that correct performance is an adjective, the ampersand is a pronoun, the forward slash is the conjunction, and then the or is an adjective, glowy patrol adjective, and then of would be the pronoun. You could do it that way, and there's still another way to do this. Still. So in this scenario, the conjunction, the forward slash, is functioning as a bridge between two syntax scenarios. A 3-4 scenario and another 3-4 scenario. Well, 3-3-4. So it's two syntax scenarios. You could, that conjunction functions as itself neutral in that scenario. Now, the other scenario you could do, if you're of that mindset, no, actually you couldn't do it because and is non-tangible contract. So I prefer this one because it's less confusing. And by the way, folks, this is advanced stuff. Maybe April might get this, but I'm not sure if even she is on board with this. So you have two standalone pronouns. Well, actually, they're not standing alone. They're just being connected by this ampersand. And yes, conceivably, you could say that stop would be the adjective modifying correct performance into a pronoun. But as there are some question as to the tangibility of stop. I mean, we all know what a stop sign is, right? When someone says stop, you have a tangible contract with what that means. But if you look it up in an etymology dictionary, it's a negative. So I wouldn't argue with you if you want to credential that in a non-tangible sense, because you can't prove a negative. But I'm a more practical-minded individual, so I do it to the best of the ease of the communication based upon my audience, whoever's reading it, or whoever I'm communicating with. So we have two pronouns connected together by this neutral adjective. And then we have the ampersand, forward slash, and the or. Those are all conjunctions and they're all neutral. That's why you can put them together like that. And then glowy patrol is going to be adjective. Of is going to be pronoun. This is adverb. Wizard, blah, 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 blah. Adjective is adjective with pronoun the. Adverb. Neutral volition, adjective of pronoun the, adverb fact findings, adjective with pronoun the, adverb blah 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 witnessing, adjective by pronoun this, adverb confidential cloak, claimant's correspondence, dangling participle verb. There you go. Whew, I need a drink. Did not like Lacey, S-H-I-T. Yeah, I got to say that that individual definitely seems to be unhinged, not quite playing with a full deck of cards. Please do not stop teaching. I don't plan to. I don't plan to. It's gobbledygook, for sure, for sure. We just proved that, didn't we, Teddy? I gotta say, I was a little confused on that one. Well, I don't know how much you've been practicing, but I mean, that's actually the first time I've ever ran into syntaxing a scenario like that where you have ampersand, forward slash, or. So there's, but once you know the basics and they click in your head like riding a bike, you run into situations like that, you know how to handle it. Like if I would have ran into that in a foreign vessel in dry dock in a courtroom, I'd have done the same thing. Be like, well, you can do it this way, you can do it this way, this is why, blah, 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 blah. As long as you know these things, you can explain them to someone else. And the thing that freaks them out is that they don't know what you're talking about, but they know that you know what you're talking about, and that just freaks them out. They don't want anything it's just very amazing and interesting, the scenarios that will pop up in that context. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that syntax lesson. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Zack attack, no call, no show. I'm going to get with my people. They're going to write them up, a written disciplinary form, send it down to HR, and he will have 24 hours. Wow, I'll give him 72 hours to comply with the disciplinary form. If not, he's going to be removed from this terrestrial platform and moved into the Galactic Federation quantum prison up on Sirius B. And if you believe that, I have some oceanfront property to sell you in Mojave County in Arizona. Yeah, I mean, questioning oneself, I do it all the time. I do it all the time. But the thing is I know that I have the answers. I'm very confident that I can get the answer. I'm confident that I have it here, and if it's not here, I know who to ask. I don't know if you remember those David-WYNN Miller videos where I think he made an analogy about something where a boss or something was in a meeting and was like, if I don't have the answers, I know someone who does. And he picks up a phone and calls someone. I'm confident I can get the answer to just about anything having to do with this grammar. If by the slim chance I don't have it, I know someone who does. Thank you. Thank you. My humor, I've been told, borders on the edge of being offensive or condescending in some way. I don't personally see it that way, but I can see how it could be construed in that way. But I definitely appreciate and respect someone who gets it, Teddy. And I appreciate and respect you, my friend, for being here. And I know you've said that it's your volition to learn the grammar from this channel alone, that you don't want to take the workshops, or that you're not in a position to take the workshops, which is cool too. I hope that, every little bit that I do here helps you on your journey. And I wish you well on your journey, because everything is here on this channel for you to learn. It's because, folks, I don't hide any knowledge. Yes, there is a membership to this channel. And yes, there is content that the public doesn't get to see. But as far as specific grammar mechanics, there is nothing hidden. It's all for the public in the public area. The stuff I talk about in the members section is more of a personal nature, like personal stories and things like that, having more to do with like CPAS, fate, rip, volition claim, domicile claim, or certain situations I've been in that I don't really want to make public. The only public claim that I basically put out there and a position to stand behind is the grammar claim, that I have closure on the grammar and I've been teaching it for 9 years. That's it. And I back that up every single day. I got a video I'm going to be putting out here, a checks and balances video that I think you're going to enjoy a lot. I'll be publishing that later on today. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And I'll leave this in the public, but I'll probably take out the middle part, the syntax lesson, and publish that by itself so that people don't have to go through all this other bullshit I'm talking about, and they can just get to the grammar part of it. For those that are interested in it, those few out there that are interested in the grammar. I'll put that in the syntax playlist. All right, thanks, folks. Peace.